Dr. Barani, pada, mada, mada, bada, 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 naba, daba, da. Come on, please. I've known this guy 5 years, I still don't know how to pronounce his name. He's from India, and I'm sorry. I apologize. He thinks it's funny, though. Can we also have Dan Rivera come back up? Is Katie Eyes, she's here? No. Did Gretchen make it? Gretchen, no. Dan Rivera, why don't you come on up? And why don't we have Tony Atchinsky, who's the president of the Drake Board of Selectmen. Come on up, Tony. I talked a little bit about the First Amendment. I talked about Diana. I want to tell you another very quick story because I was amazed. It takes a lot to surprise me. 4 or 5 years ago, I got a call from Dr. Barani Padmanabhan. See, I can think I can actually say it. I just like to make fun of it. It's a fun name to say. He called me and he said, Tom, I'm a doctor in Boston, and I found out he's an MS doctor. He treats MS patients. He said, I found out that the person who's supposed to read the brain scans for my patients has been faking reports and putting my patients in jeopardy, so I turned him in. And when I turned him in, I became a whistleblower, and they fired me. And not only did they fire him, but they took his ability to bill Medicare and Medicaid. So they refused to pull his license, because if they pulled his license, he could appeal it. He would have redress of grievance. So instead, they pulled his ability to bill for his services. So he can treat anybody in this room right now, and he still has his license. But he can't make any money on it. Well, Cambridge Hospital bankrupted this guy. And he went before their board, and they admitted he didn't do anything wrong. And they gave him back his privileges. But he can't work because they can't pay him. So for the last 4 or 5 years, I'm thinking, this guy's totally full of shit. Come on, how is this possible? This is a huge hospital. The media would be all over this. How is it possible? I did research, he sent me documents, I actually hired people to go through some of the stuff, because I don't know medical terms, well, I know, I'm not a doctor. And I really was convinced that there was something at the bottom of this that wasn't quite right. I thought, he's got to be leaving something out. So when he called me, was it 6 months ago, 3 months ago when he went to Borum? So in January of this year, he called me and said, Tom, now they're going to take my license. First they stopped me from being able to get paid, now they're going to take my license. And it's going to be a public meeting. So I said, great. I expected to walk out of that meeting and turn to Dr. Padmanabhan and say, you know what, I always knew you were full of shit, and now I've got the proof. I sat through this meeting, and these guys have a pretty good case, and they make sense. But that's not what happened. And if you go online, you can see the video, because I live podcasted the behavior of the Massachusetts Board of Registration in Medicine live. I live podcasted it on Periscope. First, they said, this is not a public meeting, you can't come in. Member of the press, I can't come in. Woo! Then they said, he had brought in 10 or 15 MS patients with him. Sorry, they can't come in either. They wanted to come up and speak at public participation. Apparently, public participation is not for the public when it comes to the Board of Medicine. By the time I was done with my experience as an experienced journalist, sitting in Wakefield, was it Wakefield? At the Board of Medicine, I walked out of there and I turned to him and I said, you know, I expected to leave this room today and say, you know what, you talked a good game for 5 years, but now I know the real story, you're full of crap. And instead, what I found was that every single thing he'd been writing in our paper as a guest writer was true. The hospitals in Boston, especially Cambridge Hospital, railroad doctors that blow the whistle. And if anyone tries to defend a doctor that blows the whistle, they railroad them too. They have closed door meetings. This is not the Soviet Union. They have closed door meetings. They told his MS patients that they couldn't speak at a public participation, and at one point told him he had to go in and testify without an attorney. Is this the Soviet Gulag, or is this the Commonwealth of Massachusetts? So I can't think of two people tonight who more deserve a First Amendment award than State Representative Diana DeZoglio for helping us get our public records bill through the House and fighting really hard with her own party to get it done. And a guy who I'm still not sure how he's getting home tonight because he has no money, Dr. Bharani Padmanabhan. While they're doing that, I want to thank a few more people as we're going to get ready for the next award, right? So, I want to thank the North End Deli for giving us free meat platters tonight. Charlie's Diner provided the coffee for free tonight. The hot wings was from our good friend Mike Condon. Does anybody know Mike Condon? I need your vote for city council. It's Mike Condon at the Sweetheart Inn. I thought it was funny. Nobody laughed. Turn it back on? It's the little red, the black button on top. Where your right hand is. I'll come down and do it. Can we have Lisa Wood Henschel up, please? Is she here? From Rhode Island? Christy Resnick. Tom Shula? Jen Canan? Linda Campbell's not here. Steve Zani, who's also not here. Riley or Chris Marcos Devers. That's correct. Come on, come up. Do you want to read? Where's Stephanie? Steph, why don't you come on up? Stephanie Jascott still here? Give me 1 second. Is Jack Roy still here? And the Calizzi family, are they still here? Anybody from the Calizzi family here? You know, Mike and Candy Calizzi from Calizzi Memorials. Mike's in the hospital. They rushed him to the hospital yesterday. Come on up, please. You're gonna read. You're gonna read this. Is Stephanie's mom here? Come up, please. Is she here? Come up. Jack Roy, I called you up 5 minutes ago. Jack Roy, I called you up here 5 minutes ago. Still talking. And that's from last year's bash. You read here. She's going to read here. And then you're going to give this back to me.
Hello, everybody. All right, attention. This next award is the Goodwill Ambassador Award. This award goes to someone not employed by the paper who helps promote the Valley Patriot and the various projects Tom seems to get involved in. Somehow, while out doing stories and covering meetings, and posting how much he hates you all on Facebook, Tom always seems to be looking for unsung heroes to recognize at this event. Tom always seems to be looking for... Oh, I already said that. We are going to read both award winners first, so please hold your applause to the end.
Sorry, I gotta. no problem. No, I thought it was, I don't know who it was.
Hello. I'm Laurie, Jack's sister. Your sister. The reason Jack Roy is getting this award, on a daily basis, Jack Roy checks into the office. When a driver quits or doesn't show up, Jack fills his car with papers and goes out and covers the roof. And I know this because one day I drove Jack into Boston to get his CT scans, drinking that horrible stuff. And on our way back, he made me fill my trunk with Valley Patriot papers and showed me where to drive and had me running in and out of Market Basket, all different stores to make sure those papers got out. So even though he was going to his appointments, sick and everything else, that was a priority for him. Where there are shenanigans in Haverhill, especially with our good friend Jim Fiorentini, Jack always tells the newsmakers to call us, and they do. He's always willing to make phone calls, get exclusive access to political events that we are not usually welcomed at. For these and so many reasons, our first VP GW Ambassador Award goes to Jack Roy.